And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Welcome to the month of June. Can you believe how quickly this year is moving on? Our next guest is someone who definitely realizes how quickly life is moving. In fact, she has a lot going on. She is a award-winning author. She's also a media personality in her own right. She's a motivational speaker, a coach. I'm talking about the one and only Dr. Teresa A. Smith, or Dr. Taz. She's the author of several books. We're going to kind of be focusing on two of them today. Transformation, you guys can see it there. We had a whole series here on IG about it. And Transformation, the Bounce Back as well. She's also gearing up for the release of her newest book too. I'm going to talk to her about that and what you guys can expect from it. There's Dr. Taz. Let's go ahead and bring her in. Tessa Marie, how you doing? Dr. Taz, how
I'm
you doing?
doing great, Cyrus. How are you doing?
Doing amazing. Thank you so much for asking. So, I was just saying, you know firsthand how quickly things are moving along. The social media diva, hello to you. Glad you could join us as well. Is that Tyler the creator, going to be able to see you as well? Glad you could join us. So, I want to talk about this experience for you, Dr. Taz. And every time we have a conversation, what I love about having you on is there's so many things that we can talk about.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about, first of all, patting yourself on the back. Because I mentioned you, of course, not only known as an author, you also are a speaker, media personality. You have your own show right here on IG with your sister, have a new book getting ready to come out. What has it been like for you to kind of applaud your own achievements?
Oh, Cyrus, it's been wonderful, frightening, but I'm trying to own my progress. And you hear me guys say progress. I could say success, but I want to think about life as a progression because you're constantly learning. So I'm trying to learn to applaud my progress. Because things are happening quickly. And what I'm finding, Cyrus, and you can appreciate this, every step I make, there's still a learning that's taking place. So yes, I'm grateful for the progress and the lessons that I'm learning. But I will tell you, sometimes I have to kind of step back because things happen so quickly, you don't have a chance to take it all in. But I'm very grateful for the things that are occurring in my life, most definitely.
Yeah, and it is a lot, and you've been able to help a lot of people as well. And Dr. Taz, I think one of the big ways you've been able to help people is through your authenticity. That is something that definitely comes through in everything that you do. You, of course, are able to be able to share your passions with us. We know, of course, about your love of cooking. You actually have a cookbook yourself. You do live cooking as well. Talk to us about that. What it's been like for you to have these personal connections with people that you also are meeting.
Well, food, since we're talking, I'm in the kitchen, guys, but since we're talking about food, there's something about food. I love food. I love eating food, but I love cooking food too. But food for me is like music. I love to cook and I love music. It just feeds my soul. And what I found is it's a way to connect. I love to travel. And I've always loved to travel, but I love it even more now because it's like I'm free to try the different cuisines. And it's amazing how it connects me with people that I'm meeting new, that are from the States who may be with me, but people that are in that country. It's like a new language. And I think what it does, even here when I'm interacting with folks, it levels the playing field. Because
Yeah.
it's like it makes it okay to be unique, because sometimes my features, it may not be okay for my features to be the way they are, guys. But the fact that I like this particular dish versus that dish, it causes a conversation. And sometimes that's the conversation we need in order to open the door to accept people for who they are. So for me, I've always looked for things that I had in common with people that I could connect on. And I don't normally pat myself on the back, but I am going to do it this time. I'm pretty good at that because I understand I can't help you until I understand something that you understand. And once I understand something you understand, then we can have a conversation about anything, because then I know how to interact with you. But until I understand something that you understand, sometimes it's like conversations that are just passing by each other, even though both parties have the best interest in mind, but we can't connect though.
Yeah, so true. Tess Marie says this is amazing. I love your answer, Dr. T. So I want to talk about that, and that kind of brings up another point for me, Taz, and that's why I wanted this conversation to be even more different. I want it to be about the pat on the back. And the reason why is this. We both are part of an online community called Celebrate You. It's
Mhm.
primarily for women entrepreneurs, but also women just to be able to realize the importance of celebrating themselves. Haven't you found it interesting? And coaches, I want to put this on coaches overall, but then of course we can bring it down. That coaches like yourself will, if someone comes to you and they're only thinking about the things they didn't do or what didn't go right, you as a coach, you would tell them, well, what did happen? What
Mhm.
can you find joy in?
Mhm.
Why do you think that's so difficult for us to do for ourselves? We can do that for other people, Todd, to tell them they should do it. But why is it so difficult for us to do that when it comes to ourselves?
Now, Cyrus, you're going to get this, and they're going to get it later. Is it self-serving? I'm referring to that great philosopher, Leonard Nimoy,
Mm-hmm.
Spock, because I'm a Trekkie.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes a comment, and this may have been his last on-screen appearance as Spock. And I can't tell you which movie it would have been, guys. But
Mm-hmm.
he's talking to himself, and he's saying that his normal greeting, his send-off, would seem self-serving. And I wonder if that's it, because the great send-off, guys, for those who are not Trekkie, is live long and prosper. I'm wondering if that's what it is, that for me as a coach or a counselor, it's hard for me to look at my accomplishments, even though I'm trying to make sure that other people see their glasses half full. But
Mm-hmm.
when I do it, it's almost like, oh, it's like I'm patting myself on the back, but I'm teaching you to pat yourself on the back, but I can't pat myself on the back, which is which is crazy, for lack of the better word to say it.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense. It's a contradiction. But I think, maybe also it's trying to maintain that humility. But for me, I think it's like Spock said. It seems self-serving. And I don't know if it's my way of remaining humble or what, but I will say this, for me, I think it trips me up, because I think it keeps me from looking at my landscape and surveying it and evaluating things properly, because I don't stop and actually look at it. I just move on. And I think if I took the time to evaluate it, some missteps that I make, I wouldn't make them. But because I don't acknowledge some of my successes, I make mistakes. But if I would just acknowledge them and relish in them, you got to relish in them for a long time, guys. It'd be nice for 24 hours, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
give myself 24
Right.
hours.
Right.
So I don't know, Cyrus. I just love talking with you. You always ask those nice philosophical questions that really causes us to do that deep introspection.
Well, I'm asking it because I think it's important. And Tessa Marie, I will send you a message. It's a free community on Facebook.
Yeah.
I actually met with the founder for the first time. We've known each other for 15 years. We met for the first time this past weekend in Atlanta. But I'll send you the information. I ask you for this reason, because it goes to, I held up earlier, transformation and transformation, the bounce back. And the reason why I'm going in this direction with this conversation is we're going to also talk about your upcoming new book, Taz, is because I don't think you and other people give yourselves the credit that you deserve, which is why so many people think they haven't done anything, because they haven't taken the time to actually
Yeah.
appreciate how far they've come. I mean, you mentioned Spock, I'll mention Moses, because I think about Moses when God came to him and said, "This is what I want you to do."
Me?
Moses was trying to tell the creator of the universe, well, I really think Aaron's the best
Yep.
person.
Yep.
He talks a whole lot better than I do.
Yes.
I'm not really the one you
Mm-mm.
brought here. And the reason I'm making the correspondence here, Taz, is because if we don't acknowledge that we have been given something that no one else has, by the way, because otherwise God would have just gone to Aaron, right?
Yep.
That how can we then become what we were meant to be? So for yourself, as you kind of reflect on this experience of bearing it all and stronger, then giving us transformation, and then showing us the consequences of not being able to put yourself first, to celebrate you
Mm-hmm.
in the bounce back, could you have been able to help other people?
No. And Cyrus, are you just in the church? We talk about being convicted. I think that's the way they put it. You just convicted me. We're in the month of June, and I'm going to butcher some things, but in the month of June, several years ago, and I write about this person in the Bounce Back, Pastor Tandria Harris, and I always mispronounce her name, but she was a friend of mine, Diane, that died. The night that she died, Pastor Tandra, she called me, and I think I write about it in Bounce Back. I think I write about it. And we talked about, she told me you were going to have a show. And she told me, I want to make sure I told you this. And she's like, you're going to have a show and blah, 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 blah. And I was contemplating whether to put something out on social media. And I talk about the tithes, not the talents, and the fact I finally got it, but I needed to be reminded. And this is the month I think that she passed in, and Diane passed in. And here I am still doing it, guys. Meaning my success, I'm still putting it in the drawer versus celebrating it. And as you said, Cyrus, how can I become the person I'm supposed to become if I'm taking the talent, the gift, I'm working the talent and the gift, but I'm putting it in the drawer instead of using it the way that it's meant to be. So in other words, let me say it a different way, guys. If Michael Jordan had continued to practice and make and get his skills up and was able to make the basketball team, and that was it. He went no further. He was able to make the basketball team after not being able to make the basketball team. And he said, I'm good. We'd never had Air Jordan. The the way the NBA changed, the fact that now college basketball players are able to get a few dollars of the money that they make for the boosters. All of that probably started because Michael Jordan decided that he wasn't just going to be satisfied with the fact that he now made the basketball team after he didn't the first time. So that's basically what Cyrus is saying to me and others. But particularly me, here it is. You don't celebrate your successes. So it's like you get to the halfway mark, but you don't you don't move forward. And because you don't move forward, you're leaving things on the table. When you going to stop leaving it on the table? That's not a pat on the back, guys. That's not patting me on the back. That's hitting me. That's hitting me. I ain't patting myself on the back. That's hitting me.
Well, it's an important thing, Taz, because I look at when Taz and I first met, she had one book, and that was it. Now Taz has 4 books, getting ready to release her next one. We're about to talk about that. She has really 3 shows because she has her show she does, Transform with Taz. She has her show with Taz and Angelia. And then, of course, she has Talk with Taz. And so, I look at and then there's the radio show, the podcast that she has. So she has done so many things. And I think so many times we are so busy. And you brought up a really good point. Hello, DeMonte, good to be able to see you. That we don't give ourselves 24 hours. Well, I don't give myself 24 hours either. So, I mean, that is something. That is something all of us can work on. But I think to not acknowledge it at all, I think that is the problem. Because if we don't stop and acknowledge it, we have to sometimes be our own best cheerleader. True. And if we don't acknowledge what we've done, we definitely can't rely on someone else to do it for us. So with that being said then, Taj, when Tess Marie said something, I want to go back to this. She says, the celebration is when those you coach get there. This is when you feel humble. And she also said, I will mention Drake. I started at the bottom. Now we are here. So, I mean, when you do talk to people, Taj, and they do get it, what you're trying to share with them, how does that make you feel?
Oh, Cyrus, it is the best feeling. It's just the best feeling. We said an aha moment, but it's like I don't have kids, guys. So it's like that proud mama moment because they got it. And then when they really got it, because I've had people who really get it, then they come back and they'll come back years later and they'll be like, Dr. Smith, da, da, da. And it's just the best feeling to me because I know that I had just a little bit of what I did made a difference in their lives. And then they gonna make difference in other people's lives. And then it's like I'm Aaron. Because going back to Moses and Aaron, even though we know Aaron made a few mistakes too. But then it's like it goes on and on and on. And for me, that's what I want. And so then I'm just so happy because I know that my life has made a difference. My work has made a difference.
Yeah, so true. Which leads us then to where we are then, Taz. For those who are just coming in, welcome. You're watching Cyrus Webb Presents. Dr. Teresa A. Smith, or Dr. Taz, is back with us. We're talking with her about her accomplishments, patting her on the back, her year already, but she's also gearing up for a new book. So, Taz, you've given us books that have taken us into your journey. You've given us a cookbook. What is next? Tell us about the new book.
Well, Cyrus, I'm about to release my new book, Dr. Taz Speaks. It is a 31-day meditation book. It is about empowering you on your journey. I'm not patting myself on the back. It's really hitting me again, guys. I'm really hitting myself. Because I realized as I was working through the book that it's so hard to stay focused and it's so easy to get distracted and we lose sight of, Lord Jesus, help me, somebody, of our own self-worth. Good position, heal thyself, of our own self-worth. I don't know why Cyrus be making me just air all my clean laundry out here with you guys. Our own self-worth. And so basically what I've done is I've got 31 days of meditation and I've got what I'm calling like a thought. And this thought is what I want you to use to focus your way of looking at that particular day's activities. So you're going to have a thought, which is really the lens that I want you to see that day's activities through. Then it's going to be an affirmation. Then it's going to be that day's thought. So that day's thought could be affirmations, it could be self-care, it could be intentional decision making, and then there's going to be a prompt. And of course, it wouldn't be Dr. Smith or Dr. Taz if I didn't have some questions there. And the reason being is I want you to think about it because it's easy for us to just read prompts and say the affirmations, but we got to do the work. And you see, I still got work to do. And so I've got questions there that you can then work through. And for this one, I put the date and for you to put the date there because what I found even for myself, it's so important to be able to go back and track our growth, as Cyrus has been alluding to already. Also, you can do this in any order. And what I found for myself is I may think this way on January the 2nd, 2024. But by November the 23rd, 2024, even if I'm looking at that same prompt, I'm thinking another way because life has continued to happen. And even in my subconscious, my mind has continued to evolve around this particular topic. And so my thoughts have shifted. So that way you get a chance to measure your growth also. And so what I want it to be is a way that folks can feel safe about doing some of the work that we have to do on ourselves. Because again, it's a continual process. And so I'm really excited about it, Cyrus. The book is going to be out July the 8th. And so I'm going to be releasing the pre-sale information shortly. So I hope that folks will really support me with this. And I think that the book will, no. Let's change language. I know the book will really help them as they continue their journey into being the best you that you can be.
Love that. Tessa Marie says, go ahead and pat yourself. You did it. You focused. You remain consistent. So, yes, you deserve to celebrate.
Thank you,
I totally agree with that. I think there's another point here, Taz, that we have to address, and that is, I get on Taz sometimes.
He does.
About being less Martha, more Mary. And when she was talking about doing the different things, I'm like, okay, I tell sometimes Martha,
Yes.
we have to come up, rein it in. We have to bring it,
Yes.
bring it in. But I want to talk about the importance, though, of that for what you're talking about with the new book, Taz, because if we don't take that time to focus, we really will be all over the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what has it done for you in putting this book together?
Oh gosh. Cyrus, we've been going through the Mind Your Business. And of course you've got your new podcast and we just did week 2 of your podcast Monday. Today is Wednesday, guys. And I've got Cyrus's book. If you haven't gotten it, this is my plug for him. You really should get it.
Thank you.
And I was already going through the book before the podcast, and between him telling me you're not Martha, you're not Mary, who are you going to be, and going through the book and actually doing the work, because Cyrus is real big about doing the work. As I've gone through refining this book, what I found is I'm focusing more. It's like everything is kind of coming under the umbrella, and I'm seeing the pillars or the different components of my business. Things are beginning to make sense. And, I have people around me, my team, and they're like, well, you're doing too much. But I'm now able to articulate to them, no, I'm not doing too much. It's a lot. But it's all the same thing, because now I'm able to see the pieces, whereas in before it was just a lot of stuff. I could not visualize the pieces the way I needed to. And I think, Cyrus, you're constantly saying, and he doesn't constantly do it, but he'll do it at the right time. Which one are you, Martha? You Mary? You done gone the wrong way. And I don't get upset with him. I'd be like, oh, I done done it again. He's like, uh-huh. It helps me though, because I have to have somebody to pull me back, but minding your business. Because what I realized was my business was minding me. I wasn't minding my business. And so now I'm learning to focus. And really, even with the new meditation book, it's about minding your business too. And as I said to a student last night that I was on a Zoom call with, we were talking about systems. And I said to this person, everything is a system.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to you guys, everything is a business. Your body, your person is business. Your body is system. It's the way that we look at it. And so when you begin to see things differently, you can behave differently and you move differently. And so going through, refining this book and everything that's happening right now, Cyrus, as my sister and I talk about timing, I think this is the right time, because it's like the light bulb has been finally screwed in tightly enough that it's making the right connection consistently. And I'm getting it.
Love that. Love that. Well, I want our audience to be able to get it. Again, everyone, Dr. Teresa A. Smith, Dr. Taz. This time always goes by so quickly with us, but we also always have such great conversations. I know, right? Look, but we always have such great conversations. But Taz, I want to say to you again how proud I am of you. What a joy it has been to see your growth, to see you being able to embrace your gifts, to be able to get out of that Moses complex and realize that you have been given something special. No one else has it. And I think if you continue on that path, you will continue to change the world. And I know that just from seeing you and seeing what you've been able to do. And I think, it reminds me of Chandra Corelli. I had a great conversation with her in Atlanta, my first trip to Atlanta, and she said she was telling Tyler Perry about what, someone had asked her to do something, she wasn't going to do it. And Tyler Perry said to her, why not? Why not you? You're worthy of it. So I'm saying to you, you're worthy of everything that's coming your way. And I want you to be able to embrace that, Ties, and to know that your work, you're doing the work, you're continuing to do the work, has opened all these doors for you. So walk in.
Thank you so much, Cyrus. I appreciate it.
Well, it's the truth. Let our audience know how to stay connected with you, and let them know again about the new book when it's coming out.
Thank you, Cyrus. My new book, Dr. Taz Speaks, 31-day 31-day meditation, empowering your journey, will be released on Amazon on July the 8th. I will be putting out social media information so that you can pre-order the book. The best way to keep up with me is just to go to my website, askdrtaz.com. That is ask, A-S-K, Dr. Taz, DRTAS.com, and all of my social media is there, and you'll be able to look at podcasts and some of my shows, and everything that you need to know about me is all right there. And I do so much appreciate your support of my new book and all the things that I'm doing. And if you need my services, please reach out to me. I would love to support you.
All right, Dr. Ties. Tessa Marie says this is very powerful. I love this.
Thank you,
We
Tessa.
love you too, Tessa Marie. Tessa Marie, I want to say the same to
Yes.
you. Tessa Marie is known for her consistency.
Yes.
Definitely her passion for what she does. and her wanting to be able to see other people become the best of
Yes.
themselves. So, Tessa Marie, I want to give you your flowers as well, and thank
Yes.
all of you for tuning in to this episode of Cyrus Webb Presents. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye bye.